everybody, aloha. Welcome to Bishop Museum Archives. I am DeSoto Brown, the Bishop Museum historian, and it is time for Throwback Thursday. Now, I just told you who I am, and I know where I am. I'm in Bishop Museum Archives. Do you know where you are? Well, you probably do. You probably know where you are right this minute while you're watching this, but I'm about to show you some pictures, and I'm going to ask you when you look at these pictures if you know where you are. I don't think you will. These are old pictures paired with new pictures of the same location, and all of the old pictures come from the 1930s here in Honolulu. So let's get started. All right, here's our first picture, and on this side where I'm indicating, you can see that there's something out of focus. I'll give you a hint. That's a bridge railing. Here is a sign that says H. Ishihara, watch repair and jewelry, or jewelers, or something to that effect. And you can see that these structures are on probably kind of a hill or kind of an incline or a slope. Does that give you any hint? Well, it probably doesn't. This picture was taken in 1936, and none of this is here today with one important exception, which you're about to see. So here in Honolulu, 1936, any idea where that is? I don't think you do, but let's look at this. Here's that same view, the way it looks today. And right here, I showed you that bridge railing in the previous picture. It's still there. This is the railing of the School Street Bridge over Nuuanu Avenue, or Nuuanu Stream, not Nuuanu Avenue. But as you can see, the building is gone and everything is gone. This doesn't look anything like the previous picture. That's because the H1 freeway now goes through this area, and all of what you saw was demolished and actually excavated to construct the freeway. And that's an important story that I think a lot of people don't realize. The H1 freeway, when it was built through the city of Honolulu, made some huge, massive changes, and lots of things got demolished and wiped out in the course of that construction. Now, keep that in mind, because towards the end of this little session, I'm going to ask you another question about that. Next, here's a picture from 1937. And on this side, there is a sign that says Willard Place. And that probably isn't going to mean anything to anybody either, unless you're maybe very old or you know Waikiki very well. Because this is a picture taken in Waikiki, and all those palm trees, that might be part of the hint, but as you can see, there is not a lot of traffic in this view, so it looks like a nice, quiet little tropical street. Well, Waikiki has changed a great deal since 1937, because today, that's what this same intersection looks like. And that is the intersection of Lures Road seen from Kalia Road. So we're looking Mauka on Lures. That's what's right in the middle of this picture, which unfortunately is kind of dark because the shadows are there. And obviously, as you all know, Waikiki doesn't look anything like it used to, because Waikiki in the intervening years turned into a very urbanized, very densely populated location that's pretty much a city within a city, and it's got tens of thousands of people in it now, as opposed to what it did back in 1937. So it's not a quiet little side street anymore. This is the street that leads right directly towards the Halekulani Hotel, if you are familiar with Waikiki and you have driven down that street to go to the Halekulani, perhaps. All right, now we're moving up one more year to 1938. And you can see that this is kind of urbanized. It's got some buildings. It's got, on this side, it's got a little gas station. And then those small concrete buildings are all business buildings. This is not a residential area. That's a clue. These are all businesses. One of them, as I remember, is a Venetian blind company or something like that. Another one is a furniture store. If you look very carefully at the original picture, you can see the signs and you can read them. And so where do you think that is? Do you know where you are in this picture? Well, I bet you don't, but there is a clue that there's a little tree on the corner right about over here. That's a little monkey pod tree. Where is there a street that's lined with monkey pod trees? Well, here's the answer. The street lined with monkey pod trees is Kapiolani Boulevard, which was built in the 1930s. Before that, it didn't even exist. And that's the intersection of Kapiolani Boulevard in the foreground and Pensacola Street. So as you can see, those small concrete buildings are all gone, but the trees are still there. And I think, if I can look at this picture correctly, I pointed in the wrong place. That, I think, is the same monkey pod tree that I showed that was present in that previous picture, although I probably didn't indicate it correctly with my finger. So here is very ample proof that, like Waikiki, the rest of Honolulu has changed very dramatically since the 1930s. And back in the 30s, you know, a lot of people thought that it was kind of a big bustling city, and they had no idea how big and bustling this city was going to become. Okay, well, now you know where you are and you know where you were in these pictures. But now I've got a question for you, and this is something we're starting now for Throwback Thursday. And what I want to do from now on is to pose a question at the end of every one of our Throwback Thursday sessions. And today's question is, looking again at this picture of the H1 freeway, what year do you think this was built? Now remember, I showed you a picture of it in 1936 and it wasn't there. Was this part of the freeway built in 1950, 1960, or 1970? So you send us your answer and we'll just see how many people can figure out what year this particular part of the freeway was constructed. So send us those answers. Let's find out who's paying attention, and let's find out who's engaged and interested in all these historic things. Okay, well, that's our Throwback Thursday for this week from Bishop Museum Archives. And please do not forget to come and visit us electronically online at bishopmuseum.org. And if, better yet, you're able to, come in person and come say hello to us and come see all the wonderful things that we have going on here, because there's always new stuff, always interesting stuff, things for old people, young people, in between people, and everybody can have fun at Bishop Museum. So, again, from Bishop Museum Archives, I'm DeSoto Brown. Thank you for joining us this week for Throwback Thursday, and I'll see you next Thursday. Until then, aloha.